Oh,
It's like the
thank
little one of your classes that I missed. I'm sorry I didn't come to that class.
you. You don't have to be sorry, and it's all gonna happen if it's meant to in perfect
It
timing.
will. It's funny because I went to a sound bath. I was super excited
Where was it?
in
Did you?
Iceland in
Oh, in
Reykjavik.
Iceland. Okay, and how do you say the name of the town?
It's Reykjavik. Sorry,
I feel
aren't you
like
an
I'm gonna
actress? You got
butcher
it right.
this. Yes. Okay, tell me again how to say it.
Reykjavik.
Reykjavik.
No, like roll your R's. Reykjavik.
Reykjavik.
If you want to sound like you know what you're doing when you're speaking a Nordic language, always just put the emphasis on the first syllable. Reykjavik.
Okay. Okay.
But I do speak Icelandic. I know it's crazy. We'll get into that. But yeah,
Yes.
so I went to a sound bath with two of my really good friends. And I was really excited because I was like, I'm here in Iceland. I'm going to go to a sound bath. It's going to be amazing. There was like 60 people there and it was great. And we lied down. We got all the pillows that we needed. And then after like 15 minutes, I was like, my back hurts so fucking much. I am too old to be just lying on a wood floor. Can I redo this with a memory foam mattress? Is that a thing that I can do? I kept getting up and stacking blankets underneath me. And the girl who was leading it,
You didn't like that,
and
huh?
I was like, I'm sorry. All three of us got up and we were like, hard pass, man. Unless they can do it where you're like in bed.
Yes.
Do
Well,
this.
I love, Amy, that you're talking about being in bed because, first of all, that's my favorite place to be,
Me too. I spent all day like doing shit and coming back to my bed.
aside from the bathtub. Do you
No,
like the
I don't
bathtub?
like the bathtub. I'm
Okay,
not
so you're not a
water person
mermaid.
unless I'm in Iceland and I'm in like a geothermal pool.
The other thing that I love is facilitating for people online or being facilitated for online, where I get to either be in my bed or they get to be in their bed.
Yes. Yes.
That's my
I
favorite.
mean, well, first of all, I have my own room. I'm married and I have my own room because he painted his room black
So
and
he
I'm
has his man cave
it's
bedroom.
it's literally a cave. It is a
Hmm.
black cave.
Yeah.
I don't want to share my bed with anyone, especially if you've had kids. I've shared my body for years. I just want a space that's mine.
I have played around with that idea. I do like a cuddle. I do like co-regulating, but I also like
Love
having my own space. So
yeah,
I get that.
regulate.
I am still in perimenopause.
I went through menopause at 41,
Okay.
really early, and then I got cancer, so it was gone. Like everything was gone.
And so the hormonal buffer is not there to be putting up with any sort of
Exactly.
anything.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I'm in the crone phase now.
Yeah.
And the crone does not look like a wrinkled old lady. The crone is just me.
I'm curious, does this
Yeah,
bring
tell
more
me.
polarity to your relationship? Do you feel like there's more attraction? I mean, this is very personal. Maybe
No,
you
it's
don't have to
fine.
answer.
I love my husband. There could not be more difference between my husband. He is Mr. Outdoorsy. He's very tall. He's very Jewish. He's incredibly good looking. He's like very manly. He looks like a movie star. He's so handsome.
So you don't need to build in the polarity, it's already
No, I
there.
think, but we've known each other. We met in high school.
Okay.
And because I did not grow up with siblings, this is going to
Hmm.
sound incestuous,
Hmm.
but it's not.
Hmm.
The fact that he just knows exactly who I am
Oh, yeah.
and knows how I grew up, and I do not have to explain anything to him.
Yes, yes.
It doesn't matter that he loves to ski and go camping on the roof of his truck. Like, oh, that sounds like the third circle of hell. No, thank
Same, same. I hear that.
so fucking
Yes,
terrible.
yes.
Awful. He gets up every day at 4:30, goes to the gym and works out
You're
Marvel movie.
30.
I'm telling you, like he's gonna be in a fucking Marvel movie. He goes to bed at 9 p.m. That's another reason that we have separate bedrooms.
And so you have how many kids?
I have three kids. I have an older daughter.
Yeah.
Eva's the middle. And
Okay.
then I have a son Vaughn, who's 15. And he's a big giant.
My son, because he's getting so tall, he's taller than me. He's about to be taller than Jake.
And how old's your son?
Yes, he's turning 13
Mm-hmm.
a month from now. So where were you born?
I was born on Vancouver Island
Oh,
in
wow.
Victoria, British Columbia.
That's a gorgeous place to be born.
It is. My mother is 8 years older than my father.
Okay.
My father was like 19 when they met.
Okay.
My parents are both from Victoria.
Hmm.
My dad quit school when he was 16 to go to London because he got a job in Chuck Berry's band. My mom quit school when she was 14 to be a singer.
Wow.
So
Amazing.
they
Amazing.
didn't have like, they weren't, it's
That
not like they would have gone
traditional
to,
structured school
no,
system.
no, no,
Yeah,
no, no, no.
no. It was like rock
And
and roll from the beginning.
from the jump.
Uh-huh.
My mom and dad got a job working for this guy named Ronnie Hawkins. Oh, this was first class. Like Ronnie Hawkins was like economy class.
Uh-huh. I got you. Okay.
He had this incredible talent for gathering incredible talent. That was Ronnie's greatest gift to the world.
Mm-hmm.
He had a band, and the band left and formed the band. Like the band, like Take a Load Off Sally, like the band.
Mm-hmm.
Robbie
Okay.
Robertson.
Okay.
And so my parents were brought in as replacements.
Okay.
And then my dad was fired for both playing too many notes and
Okay.
also having no stage presence, which is hilarious because my dad is so charismatic. I don't know what was going on. So my mom left with him and she said, let's start our own band.
Mm-hmm.
And so they went back to Victoria, started a band called Skylark, which is my middle name. Had one
Yes.
hit wonder in 1973, and they moved to LA. They legally moved to the States.
What was the one hit wonder called?
It was called Wildflower.
Okay.
It was 1973. It was number one. Basically, their second album didn't do anything. So then they had to push reset. And my dad started becoming a session player, which led him down the road to becoming a record producer. And my mom never got over that. Totally felt like she should have been a celebrity singer, rock star, but didn't really get over not. Couldn't get back up again. Couldn't get back up again. Kind of like bitter.
And what
After.
was she challenged with in her life?
I think it was a massive sense of entitlement and with like a hint of narcissism.
Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah.
I mean, just not tenacious.
Had she had an easy life?
No.
Yeah.
I maintain that boomers are the worst fucking generation ever. The most fucking selfish, the absolute worst. I cannot believe my parents are boomers. Because what happened was their parents, my grandmother, your grandmother that's 100 years old,
Yes.
they were the silent generation and the greatest generation. And they lived in a time of economic and food uncertainty.
Yeah.
Right? And
Yeah.
not safety.
Yes.
So while they were not vocally effusive with their love and affirmations with their children, like how would they know to be?
Yes.
They provided what they did not have growing up. I have yet to meet a person who's my age or relative to my age whose grandparents did not have a relatively nuclear family with a dad that worked and a mom who stayed home and cooked and like cleaned and was a caregiver.
Like a Donna Reed thing.
Right. And although it might not have been idealistic, it was certainly safe. Right?
Like, well, depending on the household, depending on what you consider to be safe, because there's a lot of abuse in those households, right?
Sure. Okay. Way to go to 0 dark 30 in like 50 seconds. I'm just saying that for the most part,
yeah,
the boomers were raised with
there wasn't a lot of confusion as there is now.
Right. They were raised with a lot of safety because their parents did not have that safety. So they wanted to give their kids what they didn't have. Now, they didn't talk about it.
I feel the same way, Amy. I feel like we're in reaction to our childhood. We're just trying to give our kids what we didn't have. And so we're like,
But that means that the boomers grew up as the most entitled without even knowing that having a mom at home that looked after you and did your laundry and fucking took care of you and all of that shit. That was their normal, but they never thought, I should probably do that with my own kids. They were like, fuck you, I'm going to take acid, fuck everyone I want, grow my hair long and have orgies and go to fucking Woodstock.
Sure.
I'm going to have key parties and I don't fucking care what my kids do and they're like feral. So that's why so many Gen Xers are such badasses because our asshole parents were just like, thanks for the safety net, mom and dad. I grew up relatively safe and normal, which means that I can go out and explore all of this alternative stuff because I had such a grounding foundation. I'm not going to give you that, like, whatever. I don't know. Raise yourself. Go out. Like, here's the thing. Here's a dinner. I don't know. Go and deal with it. And so Gen X were like, uh, okay, we were the first latchkey kids. We were the first kids that kind of had to figure
Hmm.
all that shit out on our own because our
Hmm.
parents it didn't even
They're
register to our
finding
parents.
themselves. It sounds like what you're saying is they had the luxury of trying to find
That's right.
themselves.
That's right. Obviously, there are so many exceptions to this rule, but for the most part, their launching pad was so much safer and full of more siblings and support than ours.
It's interesting because my parents were in a Kundalini yoga ashram for like
Exactly.
almost a decade. They wore turbans, the whole thing. They were definitely rebelling against whatever was going on for them.
Totally. And like
You know,
maybe yoga, like growing, like
different
having your kid
names,
grow up
like,
in a yoga retreat isn't the like maybe, I don't know, most greatest place for
well,
them.
we left when I was two because it was a cult, you know,
It
is
was, oh, is that the cult I've seen? Like where they're all, yeah, okay.
Yogi Bhajan.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Of course you left, but probably not easily.
Not easily.
No. And that's what I'm saying. The boomers weren't like savvy. Why would they have to be? They were coddled as children. They didn't even know what a red flag was.
Yeah, I was talking to a girlfriend at coffee this morning and I was saying this is more a comment on our educational system, but I think culturally too, is we have not, as Americans anyway, in my experience, been taught how to think for ourselves, been taught how to discern for ourselves. So I think a lot of these things, these cults and various religions and ways of being that are so extreme that people got into or continue to get into is because we're not in our education system taught to think for ourselves. But I want to come back to you, Amy. Like,
Yeah.
I want to know
Yeah.
about your life. So, in your experience growing up, did you move from
Yeah.
Vancouver and where
No,
did you
okay. So
go?
I was born on Victoria Island because my parents could not afford to have me in Los Angeles.
Okay.
My mom went up, had me, and then smuggled me back to the States where I was a dreamer until I was 5.
How old was she when she had you?
She was 30.
Okay, it's a good
So
age.
it's fine.
Yeah. Then you were
I mean,
back in LA, growing
back
up
in
in
LA.
LA.
And then my parents got divorced when I was 4. And it was a really ugly divorce. My mom took off for a while. I don't know how long my mom left, and no one has the answer. So my mom says she was gone for 3 weeks. Definitely not true.
Okay.
My stepmother, my dad's second wife, who took care of me when my mom was gone, said my mom was gone for a year and a half.
Okay.
My dad says my mom was gone for between 6 and 8 months. I don't know. I
Oh,
just know that I
interesting.
lived
Everyone
with
has
my
such a different
dad.
version.
Rebecca was a very traditional mother. She is the mother of my half siblings, Sarah, Aaron, and Jordan.
Okay.
A very traditional wife, a very Southern gal who is now a plant shaman. So she's gone off on her own journey as well.
Yeah, cool.
So I got a sort of a sense of what like a normal life would have been like. But my mom came back, and look, I don't know what my mom was doing. She fought for custody. I don't think she particularly wanted me. I just think she was really angry with my father. So she moved us to Toronto. She got
Okay.
custody. How she got custody, I'm not sure. Because I mean, she
So you're
moved
back
back.
up in Canada again.
Right. So she moved back from being away because she said she wanted to be a singer again. That's another story. I don't even know what she did. So let's just say it doesn't
Wait, so
matter.
has anyone made a movie of your life yet?
I don't even think people would believe it. It's so bonkers. My mom comes back to LA when I'm like 6, and she moves into an adults only apartment building because they had those kind of things in the valley in LA in the 70s. Of course they did.
Okay.
Eventually she moved into another apartment. So when my mom was awarded custody, she immediately took me to Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really happy that I was raised in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Not because it's a socialist country, but because it was like away from LA. I don't
Mm-hmm.
think anyone should be raised in LA to be. That sounds terrible, as all of my siblings and all of my nieces and nephews know it.
As you just
I know.
offend literally everyone you know. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, but
Sorry.
I get it.
I
Like
think
we
there
moved
are
out of LA
pockets
to
of LA
give our
I
kids
think
a
there are
more wholesome
pockets of LA
life.
that are very
Yeah.
normal. But I think it's very difficult to raise children when you're in the entertainment business in
Yes,
LA. As
it
you know, or else
is.
you would be there. Come
It is.
on.
Yeah. That's part of why we left. We wanted to give our kids a more wholesome life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just too difficult. There's too many distractions. So I lived from 8 to 18 in Toronto, Ontario.
Yeah. Did you learn any French?
I speak French fluently, not because this asshole here, being me, when I was in 6th grade, no surprise, I had a big mouth. And one of the things that I do is I over vector, I over explain myself, I over talk. Like I'm desperate to get people's to like me because of my family, like just being completely ignored as a kid. So
Mm,
I'm constantly trying to
prove
I mean, I'm
yourself.
better now. I'm better now.
But
I'm more,
I love
I
your
don't give a fuck
honesty
whether you like
about
me.
that, Amy, because I think everyone's like that, but we don't admit it.
Oh, I mean, why? It's true.
Yeah, why not?
Why not?
I know. I walk around going, why don't people be more honest? Yes.
I'll get into the honesty thing in a minute, but I don't lie about anything.
Yeah.
If you lie, you always have one foot in the past because you always have to remember that lie.
Mm-hmm.
So I always tell the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Even today, I could have been like, oh, I had something come up. No, I just was honest with you. I was like, I didn't get my shit together. I totally forgot. Like,
Yeah.
why not just tell the truth?
Yeah.
It's
It's so
so much
refreshing. And then
easier.
it disarms the whole thing and everyone can just
It's
be real and
it's just so much easier.
yeah.
And you don't have to be rude. You can say my favorite saying, that's not going to work for me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Instead of no, that's not going to work for me.
I like that.
And as this weird kid who wore glasses, I was born with a neurodivergent condition called dyspraxia, which means that I have no eye hand coordination, no depth
But you're
perception.
super crafty
Yeah, I am, but
and
it
very
doesn't
detail
come naturally.
oriented.
Yeah, but you know what? Nothing comes naturally to me. I have no natural gifts for anything. I've had to work twice as hard
Oh,
as
wow.
everyone else.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
Part of the knitting and the sewing is a constant rehab. It's constant occupational therapy for my dyspraxia.
Got it.
I was wearing trifocals and bumping into things. I had no, like, it
That's
was a,
so rough.
it was rough. I was, yeah. But I was also this weird child who I thought I was going to be an actress. Spoiler alert, I I was the worst actress ever because I had no connection to my body,
Got it.
right? I was 5 when I cold called a bunch of fucking agents because I knew that you needed an agent. So I just started picking up the phone when I was 5 years old and calling agents being like, "Hey,
Wow.
do you want to represent me?"
Wow. Wow.
When I was in Toronto, I had an agent and I did a few things, but I really wanted to be an actress, but I did not understand yet the level of dyspraxia. Look, I had this like a lot of shit to figure out before I could become an actress. And
Mm,
then by the time I figured it out, I was like, I don't
really want that
want
anymore.
it.
Mm-hmm.
That was the kind of kid that I was. Like, no one's going to do it for me. So now I'm just going to pick up the phone and call myself. No one's going to take me anywhere. I got to figure it out.
Yeah, hyper independent because you had to be.
Very,
Yeah.
very, very much. I think this goes back to creating
Mhm.
and why I'm good is that I know I'm going to be the worst.
Like let me be
There's
bad.
no part of me that thinks I'm going to pick up spinning or painting or knitting or crochet or like whatever it is and be like, I'm going to be so great at this. Just watch.
Mm-hmm.
I know from how my body is that it's going to take me twice as long to be average. So I'm going to have to work. When you know you're never going to catch the ball, you figure out ways.
Uh,
Like, okay, all right, they've thrown the ball to me 20 times. I have not been able to catch the ball. So maybe I can pay someone to catch the ball. Maybe I can trick them
mm,
into coming closer so I can catch the
mm.
ball. Maybe I can go around and catch the ball from the ground.
You get
You
real
begin to be
creative.
like a chess player and think of ways where you can make it work to your advantage.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how it was and is with creating.
Mm-hmm.
I don't ever think I'm going to be good at anything.
Mm-hmm.
And so the failure is just like, yep, it didn't work. Try again. I never get discouraged.
Tenacity, just like
I
built
never
in.
get upset. I never feel like bad. I never feel like I've failed. Like I no, I mean I know it failed, but I
But
expect to fail.
you don't have shame around any of that because it's
Nothing.
built in. You expect it. It's the opposite of what you were describing with your mom.
Right, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. I
Mm-hmm.
totally expect it and it's fine. It's a challenge and I enjoy a challenge and I am tenacious. And again, I don't know if I would be. This comes from all of us Gen X feral kids who just had to make do. That's where I think that people get an entitlement I see often with a younger generation is that they pick up a paintbrush and expect to be fucking Van Gogh.
Yes. Yeah. Well, there's, and there's some beauty to that, like the naive energy of just
No,
thinking that
there isn't. Absolutely not, Gary.
in my mind, because then maybe you wouldn't try, that kind of like,
There's no,
I'll just
no,
figure it
unless
out.
they're 5 years old, there's no fucking beauty to a 22-year-old picking up a paintbrush going like, I'm going to be amazing. It's like, no, girl, art is a craft. You
You've
have
been
to
around
work.
a lot
You're
of
going to go into,
entitled
are you
people,
going to go
huh?
into a fucking doctor's office and go into surgery and be like, I'm going to be the best surgeon, you guys. I'm going to be so good. I'm going to just like cut this person open, find their appendix, take it out. And unless you
Okay,
start
but
looking
for
at art,
example, yeah, go
unless
ahead.
we start looking at arts in the same way that we look at other technical professions,
Hmm.
that there are crafts that need to be
Yes,
learned
to
with
master something. Yeah.
right, like you're an apprentice, you have a master, you have a guide, and you take instruction. I'm not saying that you can't be your own instructor, but I am saying to walk in to knitting or crochet or cross stitch or painting or mixed media art or quilting or sewing or anything and expect to just know how to do it is the height of hubris and entitlement. No, you don't know how to do it. You're not going to learn off YouTube. You're not going to be great. You're going to fucking suck. And if you can get through sucking and accepting that you're not going to be great,
Mm, mm,
there's something great waiting for you on the other side.
mm,
But if
mm.
you can't handle, you can't handle the truth.
That you're if you can't handle the fact that you're gonna fucking suck,
If
yeah.
you can't handle that, then get out. Go do something else that you can handle being terrible at.
Hmm.
And it doesn't bother you because you love it so much.
Okay, so but for example, can I give you an
Yeah,
example?
please tell me. Yes, let's go.
This is probably not good for me to share.
Whoa.
Have been to a few sound baths we talked earlier about.
Mm-hmm.
I have enjoyed some of them more than others.
Yeah.
I had a women's retreat where the sound bath practitioner couldn't come. I'll do it. Okay, I'll get some
Yeah.
sound. I jumped in, I did it. I'm like, how hard can it be? And just started doing it. And there was a professional musician in the room. She was receiving the sound bath. And afterwards, she was like, that was great. I'm like, really? Because I have no idea what I'm doing. But I put all my blood, sweat, and tears into the breath work. And then people are like, I love the sound bath. And I'm like, really? Because I'm just playing around. So that's the point I'm trying to make. Is
I
that
see. But
kind
you're
of
not like,
that hubris of like, I'm just gonna try this thing.
okay, but like, look, you are
But
like,
I'm not going
I
around
don't
saying I
know.
think I'm
Like,
so good at it
you're,
either.
first of all, you were born in an ashram with yoga adjacent. It's not like you're an accountant walking off the street going like, you know what? I'm going to do some sound bath work. Like, you have a foundation.
Sure.
It's not like,
Sure. I'm not going around saying now I'm a sound bath expert.
yeah. And also, you're not expecting to go in and be the queen of sound baths. Like, that's not your handle on Instagram.
I have a t-shirt actually. No.
I definitely think you should try all of these things. I think you should try everything, all of it, everywhere,
Yes.
anything.
Yeah.
But to look at your first attempt and compare it to what you see on Instagram and be like, mine's not as good. So fuck that. I'm going to find something I'm really good.
Yeah. I get that. I feel that is a generational thing too.
Thank God we didn't have Instagram growing. Oh my God.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very happy that this is the first. It's so interesting. I don't know if you've been watching this. There was some Senate hearings recently on education, which in this administration is hilarious. Since they started recording standardized testing and all of the kinds of testing, for 150 years, they've been recording that subsequently each generation is smarter than the last generation and tests higher than the last generation. As we begin to learn that every student reads differently and we learn about dyslexia and we learn about ADD and we learn about all of this stuff.
Yeah.
But the moment they introduced technology into the classroom, everything changed. For the first time, we are smarter than the next generation.
Their scores are getting lower.
Yeah, I don't think they're getting what they need. Like at some point, we stop raising children and we start raising adults, and we have to prepare them for the world ahead. And we try to hold on, but at some point, it's like, this world is hard. I got to get you ready. By the time my daughters were in high school, they went to St. Mary's. They were getting up at 6 a.m. and taking a bus because that prepares you for life.
Mm.
All my kids have to work by the time they're 16 during the summers.
Yeah, to be resilient.
My 15-year-old son does his own laundry. Not well, but he does it.
Yeah.
He's working full time this summer as a counselor in training. All of my kids have had to work. Their peers, no. I'm not sure that that helps them hone in on who they are as people, but I do know that it makes them better decision makers in terms of what's best for me and what I need to do. Eva went to SCAD, got a film degree, decided she didn't want to be in film. She could have moved to LA and just gone with it. Let
Mm-hmm.
me just go because my family lives in LA. And she's like, you know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm going to wait until I know. I'm going to stay home. I'm going to save money. Wait till I know what I want to do. Maybe get an apartment with my friends, see what that's like as an adult without anyone paying my rent. Figure it out. I've got time. I don't expect my kids, because they work, to have all the answers, but I think they're more realistic in what they can accomplish.
It sounds like you're wanting to instill this groundedness and this awareness of life and responsibility with all of that philosophy that's come to you either through feeling a lack of that in your life or from feeling like you had to work twice, three times as
Yeah.
hard. With your creativity, you have so many talents. Songwriter, novel writer.
It wasn't like I came out being amazing at these things. I really want to make this clear. I absolutely own that I'm amazing at so many things, but I also own that I was not born amazing at anything.
Mm-hmm.
That it has taken me years
Mm-hmm.
to get good and then get amazing.
What made you stick with the things that you're good at? Being a writer, being a songwriter, what made you stick with that?
Because I never thought that I was going to just be great.
Yeah.
I knew I had to work.
Yeah.
And remember, I spent my formative years in a recording studio in 1970s in LA,
Which is
which
must be
probably
so
wasn't the
wild.
best place for me to
Must have
be.
been so wild.
It was, yeah, it was a lot. I watched my father produce and write the very best.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that and I knew how hard my dad worked.
Mm-hmm.
12-hour days, 14-hour days. I knew how hard he worked. And so I knew that I was going to have to work hard. It wasn't like I had any expectation that it was going to be easy.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had to work twice as hard because people have an expectation from a parent that is very well
Yeah.
known
Yes.
that you're either going to be shit or you're going to be amazing. I eventually moved to Nashville because I understood. I moved to Nashville for 6 years so that I could learn the craft of songwriting. I knew that I wasn't going to learn it in LA because all that happens in LA is that you go to fancy studios in the hills and talk about what it's like to write a song instead of actually writing a song.
Mm-hmm.
So I moved to Nashville. I spent every single day, 10 to 3, 5 days a week, writing songs and
Yeah.
learning how to write songs.
With your head down, just banging it out. Uh-huh.
Yep. And it was like a job. It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't special. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't feel special. I didn't feel like I was doing anything other than an apprenticeship to learn how to write melody. Sometimes, really, I'm a lyricist and learning how to tell stories. Look, a song is only so many lines, and
Mm-hmm.
you have to tell without exposition and without a lot of context. You have to tell an entire story.
Yeah.
So that's what I learned. I learned how to use what we call furniture in the songwriting game.
And
So,
move the furniture around.
yeah, so furniture are like immovable objects in songs that immediately connect you to place and time.
Okay.
So, I'm trying to think of a song that I wrote. Can I quote myself? What a fucking asshole move that is. I wrote a song about a woman whose husband died because it's
Mm-hmm.
country. I mean, come on.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a line in there, when you die, people come around with food, with covered dishes and casseroles to talk about what's going on.
That just gave me chills. It feels like a Joni Mitchell song.
It is one of my better lyrics. So you get into these specific things with furniture. I think it starts like Jenny keeps a quiet house. And automatically you know, and the children know not to play too loud and not to talk too loud. And then you have to get general in the chorus. Then you have to put all that furniture down and just get general for everybody to get into it. So time, don't move, don't spin, don't take what I have left of him. right? So that everyone can relate to. And then you go back to the furniture, which is telling your story, which you have basically 10 words to describe exactly what she's saying, what she's going through.
Which is harder than writing a novel, probably, because the less words you have, the harder it can be.
Yeah, but very helpful in the novel game
Mm.
because I can say things in one paragraph that might take another author 3 pages.
Mm-hmm.
But my point is, I didn't start good.
Yeah.
I had to sit at the feet of people who were much better than me and learn how to do that.
Yeah.
And then I passed that knowledge along a decade ago. Let me just humble brag for a minute. We can both humble brag in this and talk about all the famous people that we know.
Go for it.
I was sitting next to John Mayer and we were talking about songwriting. And I discussed this concept of furniture. And
Mm-hmm.
he was like, tell me everything. I
Mm-hmm.
want to know exactly what you mean. Not even
Mm-hmm.
John Mayer knew about this.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because he didn't do like a fellowship in Nashville. A lot of my songs were terrible. They're awful. I had to learn those building blocks of how to build up without exposition or context, and then being very generic for the chorus.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to jump track a little bit because I think this fits.
Okay.
It's really difficult for me on my Instagram to not be opinionated. Serious. It's like my greatest hurdle in life to not like be a vocal asshole on Instagram because I have so many opinions, but I really want it to just be a place for makers. And I really want it to be a place where like nobody ever changed anyone's mind on the internet. And I think the only
Mm-hmm.
way to build bridges is to get people in a room together.
Mm-hmm.
Even if
Dialogue.
they have vastly different political opinions, you're not gonna, the only way to build
Mm.
bridges and to change minds is in person, not
Gotta connect heart to heart.
yeah.
Yeah.
For example, I have never seen or really understood a movie released by A24. Like, do you know what I'm talking about?
I know the company, but I can't think of a list of what their movies are.
Exactly. Like movies that I think made are for like 5 other people and like super intellectual elitist cinemaphiles. I won't single out single movies because I don't want to be a jerk, but I feel like they think they're so clever
Mm-hmm.
by putting some fucking weird ass like John Malkovich in a DJ suit with a weird motorcycle helmet on. It's easy to be an elitist.
Mm-hmm.
It's much more difficult to create something that resonates with people from all backgrounds and all socioeconomic classes and all genders and races and everything. It's much more difficult to do that without being beige or
Mm-hmm.
schlocky or sentimental.
Like, how do you mine for humanity? Like, what so I have this thing on my
Yeah.
desk. It says we're all so deeply connected in our truths. And I feel like what you're talking about is not trying to be artistic or clever or cute or cool,
Mm-hmm.
but how do you find the microcosm of the macrocosm? How do you find the
Exactly.
truth?
That's exactly it. How do you find that elemental
Hmm.
truth?
Yeah.
Well, the first thing that you do is you don't fucking lie.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
You tell the truth.
Well, that must be so much of what makes you good at what you do in all of these categories, in crafting, in novel writing, in songwriting, is you're allergic to non-truth.
I really am. It could be part of my weird neurodivergence. And by the way, let me just say this about my neurodivergence. It's not cool. It's not a fun neurodivergence. I'm not a prodigy. There's no fun part about being, I
Mm,
just fall a lot. It's not great. And I can't handle certain lights. But it also might be like I have OCD. That's probably from my shitty childhood. But I also think that it's the true thing might be a part of my neurodivergence as well. Like I just,
mm-hmm.
and I always tell my kids, do not lie to me because
Yep.
A, I'll know because I'm a witch.
Intuitive. Yeah.
I know. And the cover up is always worse than the lie. Always.
Totally. Totally.
So just tell me the truth.
Yeah.
I'll never be mad at you. But if you lie
Mm.
to me, shit's going to get real. Shit will get fucking real. I will not have you lie to me. And a couple of my kids have tried and I've caught them and I've
I like hard swallowed when you said that, Amy, and I'm not your kid. I was like, shit's gonna get real. Ah.
shit's gonna get real. My kids know. But then again, my kids know that they can tell me anything. I'm drunk. I've done this. I've done that. Come and get me. Come on. There's no
Yeah.
repercussions for telling the truth. There's
Yeah.
only repercussions for lying.
I think that is a safety.
I think so too.
Yeah.
And so if you only tell the truth, that means that you have to tell the truth about yourself. That
Mm-hmm.
means you have to say, I'm not great at this. I have to work on this. I can be an asshole when it comes to this.
Mm-hmm.
These are a very long list of all the things that I need to work on.
Well, and it saves you energy because it's exhausting
It is. But then you
being
can also
anything
say, I'm
else.
really good at this. I'm really good at that. I'm amazing at this. Like, you don't have to have like false modesty. You're
Mm-hmm.
just telling the truth.
Yeah,
I think that truth is the best way in, truth is the doorway to creativity.
I love that.
But you have to be honest to yourself. You might think that you can sing because your dad and your mom and your grandmother told you you can sing, but can you really sing?
Well, the
Can you?
world's gonna tell you pretty quickly unless you have
Well,
so many
well,
buffers that you
you
just
know,
never let it in.
but then you see all these reality shows and then they come in and they think they're the greatest singers ever. The most difficult thing about the truth is you have to recognize, I did this, I made this, it's not great, I can do better, or it's great, I nailed this. So you have to have a pretty good sense of, I don't know what the equivalent is, like body dysmorphia, like
Mm,
creativity
dysmorphia. Yeah.
you have to be really honest about, is this any good?
But then there's geniuses, quotes, genius, whatever people consider that to
Yeah.
be. There's people who are really, really good at what they do and then are always, I feel like, as an artist, going, I don't know, let me do better, let me do better. Even if it's brilliant, they're like, let me do better, I can do better, I can do better, right? And
But
so,
they're not being honest.
mhm.
They're not in touch with their authentic, honest selves. Because if they were, they would say, yeah, I can't do any better than this. This is as good as it's going to be. I'm going to move on now. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm just saying when you're completely honest with yourself, you know your limits. You know how far you can go. You know how far you can take things. And you know when you've gone too far. And you're not like, by the way, it's just fucking art. It's not, you're not, no one's life is on the line.
And that's the other thing, it's so subjective
Exactly.
because there is no final answer with art, is
There's
there?
no final answer. You have to be confident about your final answer. You have to be okay. We'll bring up the books now, which is sort of the next part of this journey and how
Yeah.
you and I met. I don't know if
Hmm.
your audience knows how you and I met.
Yeah, and also I don't know how much we're supposed to talk
Allowed to
about
talk
it.
about that. Well, okay, let's just say that sounded really clandestine. Like we were like, it's,
It's secret.
it is a secret. We can't really talk about it. But I will just say this. A lot of amazing, universal, incredible things happened in order for us to come into each other's lives. And it was because of a writing project
Hmm.
that your husband found.
Hmm.
I can't even say it. Okay. I'm trying to be so vague.
I think that's good.
A
You
while after it was published, because I published
mhm.
4 books, that's fine.
This is like 20 questions like people.
I know what I learned from that experience,
Yeah.
and what I say all the time now is that the universe has its own clock.
Yeah.
And you might not like the clock. You might want that clock to go faster or slower,
Mm.
but it happens when it happens on the universe's terms, not your terms. And if you
Mm.
think it's going to be your terms,
Mm.
you are a speck, a mote of dust in the infinite cosmos. Sit
Mm.
down, be humble.
Mm.
It happens when it happens. You've done the work, you've put it out there. It may not be working now, but who knows when someone will find it. And whoever
Yeah.
needs to find it will find it.
Yeah.
And if nobody finds it, it doesn't matter because you made it and it's
Yes.
still a thing that you
Yes.
made
Yes.
and
Yeah.
you finished, which is the greatest miracle of all.
I agree. Yeah. Just the courage to create anything is amazing, and to finish something is
To
incredible.
finish,
Because
to
most
finish.
people don't finish anything. And then if you finish something, to actually have people resonate with the thing that you finished. Amy, you build worlds, you're a
I do.
world
I'm a
builder.
world builder.
And one of the world building things you
Yeah,
do is work with time and portals and
I do.
mystical occurrences and magic. And so
Yeah.
tell me more about world building, because we talked about the furniture with music. And then
Yes.
for writing, is there furniture in the writing?
Yeah. So, okay. Again, in full honesty, I was a very unhappy child.
Yeah.
You can imagine. as we've talked already,
Yeah.
I was very lonely.
Yeah.
I was wearing my trifocals and
Mm.
covered in bruises and stitches from falling all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I did not, and like, look, don't, there's no tiny violins. I'm not sad. I mean, look, my father is David Foster. It comes with a lot of privileges. I'm not like feel sorry for me. That's not what it is. But he wasn't David Foster when I was a child. I mean, he was, but he wasn't like
Mm-hmm. Who he's
now.
become. Like a legend.
A legend, an icon. He was just my dad who was working 12 hours a day in the studio. And then I would go with him and I would sit in the studio and he would put me underneath the console and then put a blanket over top while these big musicians came in while he played for and did all the drugs and all the fucking sex and who knows what I saw back then. And if you look back in the 70s, any great song that had a keyboard refrain, my dad
Like,
did. Here we go again. Like
did you?
Dreamweaver.
Yes.
It's all my dad. It's all my dad's vibe. You can tell my dad's playing from just the way that he begins. Not even with his writing of all the Chicago stuff when he was just a session player. That was him on everything. And you could hear his timing is solely his own. He owns that. My mother is an unreliable narrator. She claims that I could read by the time I was 18 months old. This seems very aggressively prodigy-ish like to me. Possibly true. I mean, my dad says that I could say the alphabet backwards and forwards when I was 2 years old, but like, can't anybody do that? It's just like memorization doesn't feel like very special.
No, I don't think most adults can do that. So that's special. Yes.
I definitely was reading books by the time I was 4. And I was definitely
Mm-hmm.
reading books without pictures by the time I was 6. So I was definitely reading.
Yeah.
I mean, world building was a way for me to escape an incredibly unhappy childhood.
Right.
I wish that I could say I fucking walked into a magic portal and was blessed by fairies, elves, and angels and have this great gift. I mean, it comes out of, I don't like my life.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm going to invent a new one.
Yeah.
Here, I'm going to live here. And this is going to be my little house over here. And I'm going to have this life. And over here, I'm going to have this life. I'm an incredibly curious person. I think that comes from collecting all the information I can to really build out these worlds as a youth so that I could live and fully inhabit them.
Makes sense. Yeah.
And that's not to say that you need to have a terrible look. Oh my God. You don't need to have a terrible childhood to be a great world builder.
Yeah. Like you don't have to break up with your boyfriend to write a good song.
No. In fact, you shouldn't. It's not like I was writing books when I was 8. I had time and perspective to build these worlds. I absolutely do not think you should write a song about breaking up with your boyfriend the day after you write it. It's going to be awful. It's going to be maudlin and like, poor me, poor me. Wait a year. That's how it started. I've never lost that, like, let's pretend that we're pirates. Let's pretend that we're, I don't know. Pirates are problematic as are they. Like,
I know. It's like, why are pirates a thing that kids should play in the world of? Like raping and pillaging? What?
Vikings. Don't get me started on the Vikings. We are just pirates in Scandinavia and the worst.
My girlfriend was the lead in the Vikings TV show.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, is she Canadian?
Catherine Winnick.
Yes. She'll tell you. She kicks ass. I love her.
Yeah.
She's an ass kicker, that one. But unfortunately, the thing about Vikings are this. There's no such place as Viklandia. I don't know what people are imagining, but there's no country called Viklandia. Here's what happens. People get poor and they say, you know what? I'm just going to go to Ireland and Eastern Europe and Germany and France. I'm going to land on here. I'm going to be really good at fighting. I'm going to be the John Wick of Vikings. I will kill you with my pencil and my sword.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to sail on our longboats to the Irish coast. We're going to go inland. We're going to murder all these people, except for the super hot ones.
Right.
We're going to take the hot chicks. We're going to take the strongest guys.
Mm-hmm.
We'll leave a few like old ladies with babies so they can breed some more. Then we can come back later. We're going to loot the town of everything that it's worth.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to go back to Denmark or Norway or wherever we come from and see. Now we've got slaves who are the hottest of their tribe, which is why everyone in Denmark and Sweden and Norway are so good looking. It's not by chance.
I didn't realize this.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that's
Think
interesting.
about it. It's like an early eugenics program. Well, you're going to be a slave, going to take the ugliest one? No,
Yeah.
you're going to take the super hot one that you want to fuck. No, of course not.
Yeah, yeah.
So they took
It's
the
a
hottest
breeding
ones,
thing. Yeah.
exactly, and the
Mm-hmm.
strongest ones with the
Yeah.
best genes,
Yeah.
had their own first eugenics project, and now they've made some money. Maybe that's it. Okay, I've made what I need to make. I'm going to go buy some farmland up in northern Norway, and I don't need to ever be a Viking again. It was awful and very traumatic. I don't
Mm.
want to do that again. Some people are like, I want more fucking money. So I'm going to go Viking again next year and do that shit.
Mm.
Vikings are basically poor farmers who want to commit murder so they can get money. Sorry.
I had no idea what this conversation was going to be, but this is great. Yeah.
I don't know
So
how artistic this is,
this
but
is
like,
great.
I think we got on it because I was like, pirates, Vikings, like, stop glorifying these were the fucking worst. And it's so bad in Iceland because you go there and it's like Viking this and Viking that. And I
Mm-hmm.
talk to my friends in Icelandic, I'm like, stop doing, what the fuck are you doing? Like,
Yeah.
why are you constantly glorifying them? And they're
Yeah.
like, well, tourists.
Yes,
Like,
exactly. It sells mugs or whatever
if
you're
you
putting it
watch if
on.
you watch The
Yeah.
Northman with Alexander Skarsgård, and like, why wouldn't you? He's naked for so much of that movie. um it speaks to Iceland. So let's say you go Viking and you don't get the best slaves and you don't make that much money, but you still want to buy land, you buy land in Iceland. It's kind of like economy
And
class of
so,
the Viking world.
and how did you end up in Iceland, Amy? What's
Okay.
going on here? Half your life is
Oh,
in
okay.
Iceland.
Let me set the scene. It was after the
I
pandemic.
mean, okay, yes. Yes.
I was very broken, Siri. I was very
Mm,
broken for many reasons. I had cancer, I had breast cancer, and I
mhm,
could not, I was fine with having a mastectomy, and I was really pushed towards reconstruction.
mm.
But then it hurt so bad, and it was so like my boobs made Dolly Parton look flat chested. Like it was ridiculous. Like it was so painful.
Wow.
I wish we would advocate more for what I had eventually because I had a second mastectomy called the Goldilocks procedure.
Hmm.
But I was just, I was in surgery after surgery. It was locked down. And finally, I was able to go to Iceland in 2022, 2023.
Hmm.
And I went there on a fiber retreat, of course. Obviously, I was just going there for the yarn.
We didn't really get into the yarn yet.
Oh, yeah. It really comes with the Iceland territories. I was so drawn to this place
Hmm.
because have you ever been to Iceland?
No, I have not.
But you're coming to see me this summer.
Okay, yes.
Just
Jake
you.
said.
Jake
Oh,
can
okay.
come. You can all come. I mean, but if you want to come by yourself and just if there's a direct flight
Oh, that's
to
so sweet.
Chesapeake, and then you just come up because I live in the north. I
But I have
live,
to be able to actually pronounce the name of the city.
girl. I'll teach you.
Okay.
I'll teach you. You're an actress. You'll get it.
Mm,
So I live in a place called Akureyri, which
okay.
is Akureyri.
Mm,
It's the second biggest town in Iceland.
okay.
That's a different story. But anyways, I was touring all around Iceland and I don't know what was happening to me, but I felt spirit very strongly there, but I was so disconnected from my body because of the cancer and a lot of other stuff that I didn't even recognize what it was. And I got back and I was like, okay, well, I've checked that off the bucket list. And then 3 weeks later, I had made a plane ticket reservation to go again. And my husband was like,
Mm,
what are you doing? And I was like,
it called
I
you.
don't know. I absolutely do not know, but I know I need to go back there.
Hmm.
Iceland is not a luscious, verdant, feckin', that sounds like a swear word, tropical paradise.
Yeah.
It looks like another planet.
Hmm.
It is beautiful in its raw intensity.
Hmm.
It is full of jagged rocks and mythology and geothermal pools. It is beauty as seen through the lens of something hard, but like,
Ancient.
yes,
Hmm.
there's a kind of a brash boldness about its jagged beauty.
Hmm.
I felt like what I saw outside matched what I felt like inside. And I didn't get that until
Yes, I was just
later
thinking that
on.
as you were describing it. I'm like, this sounds like
Exactly.
you. Yeah.
I was so scarred and I was so sort of empty, but also filling up. He did all of my, I don't do well with anger, but like when you go into a geothermal pool, it's not like being in a bath because you're feeling the fire in the water. So it just spoke to me. Look, I don't understand. I kept going back and then I just decided I'm going to buy a house here.
Oh,
My husband
wow.
was like, "Are we getting a divorce?" And I was like, "No, I just want to buy a house there." And I thought you would love it because there's so many outdoor things. He's like, "It's not challenging enough for me." And I was like, "Fine, bye." Because I found my tribe up there. I found a bunch of women who love to make things. There's no
Mm.
last name. It's a bathing culture. So automatically you're naked a lot, which is
Mhm.
a great leveler. No one
Mm.
wears makeup. No one gives a shit. And no one has a last name.
Oh,
So if I was to live there, my name would be Amy Skylark Davidsdottir, but my daughter's name would be Eva Sky Matthewsdottir. So no one, you are named after your father. So what's your dad's name?
Robert.
So you would be Siri Rappersdottir.
The last name is from the father's first name.
Right.
Yeah.
And so everybody goes by their first and middle names. I lived in Reykjavik for one summer and then I bought my house in Akureyri, but I would go bathing after work. You go to, it's not like fancy. There are obviously like Sky Lagoon and Blue, whatever, but most people just finish work. They go to a local pool, which has tons of geothermal pools, and you get naked. I'm naked next to Bjork or like the president of the country. There's no like
Wow.
security. Everybody just gets into a geothermal pool and talks, and no one gives a shit about what you do
Hmm.
for a living
So
or
it's
who
like
you
the
are.
opposite of LA in that sense. I see.
And then up north is even better. I love the idea of it never getting dark.
Mm. A night owl? Do
I'm a night owl.
you create at night? Yeah.
Yeah. When there's no nighttime, it's great because you sort of step outside of the space time continuum anyway. So you can walk at like 3 o'clock in the morning and
Hmm.
just be walking outside, and not that anything would happen to you anyways, but it's very beautiful.
Yeah.
That's when I realized that there is one company in Iceland that makes yarn. Lope.
Okay. Okay.
Lope is a type of yarn. And in order for you to make a traditional Icelandic sweater, you have to use lope, and it's called a lope pesar.
Mm.
I would see the tourists come in because in Akureyri, there might be like 10,000 tourists a day coming in
Okay.
from cruise ships.
Okay.
And they would come into my best friend's yarn store. My best friend owns a yarn store there.
Hmm.
I mean, obviously. They would touch the lope and they would touch the lope pesar, and they wouldn't understand that Icelandic sheep are bred to be the most hardiest sheep, obviously. Like they have
Hmm.
two coats. One is completely waterproof. The soft under one is less, it's very warm.
Hmm.
So they would touch it and be like, "Oh, that's too scratchy. I can't handle it." And so I decided I would take all of this roving that I would collect from Iceland
Hmm.
and basically mule it back down to the States, send it to my mill in Battenkill, New York, and spin it with merino wool so I could get a
Wow.
merino Icelandic yarn hybrid so that the tourists and everybody else could experience the beauty of Icelandic yarn that's still
Wow.
soft, and dye it myself. And so that's where the yarn comes in because I really wanted people to be able to take a little bit of Iceland with them.
Yeah.
And it's gorgeous and it's really beautiful yarn.
Yeah. I saw on
And so that's how it
Instagram how
started.
beautiful it
Yeah.
is.
It's
Yeah.
gorgeous. It's really gorgeous. I'm very proud of it. And I'm the only person in the world that's done it because it's such a pain in the ass. So that's the yarn thing.
Amazing. And what else do you make with the yarn?
I knit sweaters, I knit
Yeah.
blankets, I crochet sweaters, I crochet
Yeah.
blankets. I don't do mixed media with yarn.
Mm.
That's really more painting and scraps of fabrics, but I make quilts and I make my own clothes and I upcycle everything. For the first time, I'm really trying not to consume anything and I'm just trying to make my own stuff because I can make my own clothes.
That's
So that's
amazing. You're such a fascinating person. You have such a fascinating life, and I know it's been challenging and hard and difficult, and you're not trying to throw any sort of pity party. You're just very realistic about everything, and you are so multifaceted and multi-talented. But I hear so much of what you're saying is this isn't because I was privileged. This isn't because of who I know, although that can help. This is because I've worked really hard. I've studied really hard. I've had kind of a hard life, but I've overcome and I've navigated so many difficulties and so many challenges, even recently with
yeah.
the cancer, and yet you've overcome and you've overcome and you've been resilient. And so Iceland is like this external expression of your ability to overcome, but also you have this love of authenticity, this love of truth, this love of honesty and transparency, and these very specific passions that have just been called into your life. And then you were talking about really sit and be humble, sit at the feet of whatever you're learning and really allow yourself to take the time to master something. Don't just expect that you're going to know something right off the bat. It seems like you have a love of earning things and going through the heart of it and coming out the other side and making beauty of it. Also, I can tell you have a love of being kind and being a friend. And you just met me and you're already inviting me. You're so big hearted. So thank you, Amy, for.
I really try to be, because I feel like the saddest thing is when people are excluded, because I know what it feels like to be excluded. And
Mhm.
part of my whole vibe online, my label is called Valkyrie Viber and Valkyrie Craft, is I want everybody to feel like they have a place. There's no, you can't sit with us energy. Unless you're a fucking asshole, then you absolutely cannot sit with us. But if you're a nice person and you're a kind person, you can sit with us. You don't have to be cool. You don't have to be rich. You don't have to be any of these things.
Mm.
You just have to be kind, and you just have to be like open. And I do, yes, I
And
think
be
that,
yourself.
and be yourself. And I'm not interested in who you think you want me to be. And by the way, I'm not cool. I mean, I'm cool in my own way, but I'm not cool compared to my siblings, for example. I'm a sci-fi nerd, like completely a sci-fi nerd. I overcompensate. I'm desperate for people to like me, but not like weird desperate. It's not like I want people to like me because I want them to think that I'm a great person. I'm just desperate for community and to have the safety of people
Yeah.
around.
But what's
If that makes
interesting,
sense.
yeah, it totally makes sense because what's interesting what you're saying is I want belonging and I want to create belonging, but you're not actually morphing yourself. You're not changing anything about yourself to have people like you.
No.
That's what most people do, right? Shift a little bit. Why don't you alter yourself a little bit so you can fit in?
Then how do you know who you are?
Yeah.
If you keep changing for other people, how are
Yeah.
you going to know who you are? And then how are
Yeah.
you going to create anything if you're
Yeah.
not coming from a place where you know exactly who you are?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can't do any of that. And you can't, like, look, you're, everything that you said about me, it's right. Like, I'm still learning. I still have so much to go. I still have so many things that I can't do. I'm really great at many things, average at a few things, totally shit at other things. I don't pretend that I'm better than what I am, or I don't pretend I'm farther along in my journey than where I am. I'm fine where I am. It'll take me, and again, I cannot stress this enough. The universe has its own clock.
Yeah.
Do not expect that you're going to be great at something because just because you want to, or you think
Mm.
you should be, or because
Mm.
your mom was good or your sister was good or whoever was good. Forget all of that. You are on your own journey. That's
Yeah.
it. Like, end of. And if you accept that it might not happen tomorrow or next year or even 10 years from now, that's fine. Just accept it. You're just here circling the earth on your own journey, but the universe has its own time frame. I don't know. Does that sound really woo-woo? And like, maybe we should go to your parents' ashram and about that.
No, I think it sounds very wise and hard-earned wisdom, and I appreciate you, Amy, and I
Oh,
appreciate you
Yuri, I
sharing
appreciate you
so
too.
openly. Thank you.
I think we need to hang out, first of all, for sure. For
Okay.
sure. I don't know that I want to lie on a hardwood floor and do a sound bath, but if you have memory foam mattresses in that sound bath, I'm very happy to come there.
Well, here's the thing. I tell people bring two blankets, bring an eye mask, bring a pillow, wear cozies. We can definitely, I've got so many yoga mats. We've got yoga mats coming out the wazoo. We can put 12 yoga mats all lined up. You bring whatever you want. You bring a blow up mattress for all I care.
I mean, oh my God, that's so funny. And then you're doing Reiki work on top of that. Are you going over to people and their energy?
Yeah, I do Reiki on everyone while they're doing the breath work. Yeah.
It would be, I'd be so interesting to know what you picked up on.
I really try my best. It's the one time that I'm not analyzing so much. I'm really doing my absolute best to
Right,
be
just
super
opening.
neutral, get out of the way, be the conduit, be the I was going to say be the crystal, but that sounds weird. But like be the crystal. I really try to drop any kind of judgment because in my normal life I'm an overthinker.
Me
So
too.
that's why I love the breath work and the Reiki because both of those things put me in present time, put me in my body. Yeah.
Yeah, that does not put me in my body. Like making puts me in my body. Sewing puts me in my
Yeah.
body. When I have to focus on my breath, it makes me anxious.
If you're willing, we will see
I
what
would love to work
happens.
with
Yeah.
that. I would
Yeah.
love to work with that, but we've got to discuss. There's so much that we can discuss. Just FYI, my degree is in international business and conflict resolution. I went to school at the School of International Service at American University,
I did not know this.
and I was a debate champion.
I knew from the beginning, I was like, how am I gonna do this? Because she's such a dynamic person, has such a dynamic life, and there's so much that you've gone through and so much you've created.
My favorite thing is collaboration on everything, on every level, because it's so
Mm,
much fun to enjoy everything with somebody else. I want as many people on the journey too. And part of being
mhm.
on the journey is asking all the questions and challenging those questions and saying, well, that doesn't seem like it fits with your ethos, or that doesn't seem like that's part of it. And that's the authentic parts.
So, final wisdom nuggets.
You may have a picture in your mind about how your creation is supposed to go,
Hmm.
whatever you're creating, whatever
Hmm.
you're making. Trust me when I tell you that it will not go that way.
Hmm.
And how you react and pivot to your initial vision of
Hmm.
that make is what makes you. So if you look at it and it's like, I'm going to put this down, I'm going to come back to it, or no, I'm going to start again. However, you decide to deal with that
Yep.
explains who you are. And if you are a person of integrity and resilience and tenacity, you will not be intimidated by the fact that what you pictured isn't what's in front of you.
Yep.
You will find a way to pivot and go around or work around to get to something else, which could be even more beautiful than what you originally imagined.
I love that. Yeah. My mom, in the trainings with her teacher, they used to call it perfect pictures. And they would, in meditation, explode the perfect pictures.
Yes, this is the perfect, you really created. Thank you. Thank you for creating the perfect space for me. I can't think of a better place where I belong to talk about all the crazy shit that I have going on. So thank you. Seriously.
Oh,
I
okay. Well,
appreciate it.
see, now because you're so honest, I can really take that in.
You can.
Yes, thank
Yeah, because I
you.
would not lie. I'd be like, okay, well, this is great. I've got to go.
Yeah. Okay, well, guys, if you liked anything that you heard or you don't agree with anything,
Yeah.
where do you want them to reach out?
Follow me on Instagram, Amy
Yeah.
Foster. Here is my Instagram handle. And then Valkyrie Fiber with no S is where I do a lot. And then sign up on my website, which should be coming up soon. And you can be part of the Valkyrie Coven and get first look at all of the crafts and stuff. I want to include everybody else in this vision of this worldwide community of makers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And
Let's
then if
talk.
they want to get any of your books, where do you want them to go for your book?
I hate saying Amazon, but it's the easiest. There's When Autumn Leaves, and then the Rift trilogy, the Rift Uprising, the Rift Frequency, the Rift Coda,
Hmm.
and then the Underveil, which is my fairy tale book, which I really, really love.
All right, guys, keep expanding your capacity to feel good, one breath at a time, loving you, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.